Welcome to our video discussion series, Edu Talks, Tips and Tricks for Online Teaching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. And if you haven't done so, like us and follow us on social media. Today, I'm so excited. I invited Elizabeth Baldwin. She's an educator from San Diego, California, and she has so much to share that you will be thrilled. Enjoy! How long does it take you to prepare for a class? On average, how much do
It
you?
varies. It
Yeah.
varies. So what I like to do is I like to create almost like a template. I pretty much know right away that for every single online class, I need a specific structure. I need a warm up, right? Some kind of like chat right away, or I need a warm up, right? I need everybody to be doing something almost immediately. Tell me your name, tell me where you're from, tell me what you ate for breakfast. I don't know, get them moving, right? So I need a warm up. I need an introduction. I need to tell them what we're doing today. I need to tell them what they need. What are the tools that they need? Do they need a textbook? Do they need paper? Do they need a pencil? What do they need? Then I need to present my material, right? I need to present my material. And so that could be one slide, or with the reading, as you can see with the reading, that was like 6 slides. And then after the presentation, I need to have guided practice. That means I need to have something that we all do together. And then after that, I need to have something that for independent practice, I need to have something that they do without me. And so and then after that I need some kind of wrap up where where basically I have them show me whatever it is I had them do with independent practice. So I need all of those elements. And so once I know I need to have all those elements, then I just take the lesson that I need and I just plug in the pieces. That's all I do. And then that makes it a little easier.
How, I'm sure that based on your huge experience as an online teacher, how do you handle when you see someone is not so engaged? What is your tip and trick that you pull out of your hat with magic?
Okay, so one thing that you need to create the expectation that everybody participates. So I will at some point I'll be like, okay, so I need to hear everybody's voice. Before we end class, I have to hear everybody's voice. So I can be like, okay, Maria, I haven't heard your voice yet. So unmute your microphone and tell me what you had for breakfast, right? Something. So you just create that expectation that in my class, everybody participates.
What else do you have, like, I don't want to say rules for engagement, but things that are a must? So expectations, everybody reads, everybody voice is heard, or everybody participates. What else?
Well, I would say you get used to awkward silence. Call on students and wait. Just call on them and wait. Wait.
And listen.
Um, I mean, yeah, because sometimes we it takes a minute for somebody to turn their camera on. Sometimes it takes a minute for somebody to unmute their microphone. But yeah, sometimes you just need to wait. And I think once, if you do have students where maybe you have the same students once a week or twice a week, or you see them regularly, you just create that routine of, okay, everybody participates, and that's just an expectation.
Thank you. And how about text or preliminary tasks or homework after that? Do you do those? Basically, if you have a homework, how do you make sure that you send it and they're engaged and committed and motivated to do it?
That's hard. That is hard. So giving students assignments that they're going to turn in later. Yes, you need to make sure that your instructions are so clear, because as soon as they don't understand, they shut down, right? Don't understand equals do nothing. And so you need to make sure that whatever work you're asking them to do outside of class is something that they can do, right? So another thing about making sure everybody participates, everybody's engaged, make sure that you're meeting everybody at their level. Don't give any expectation. Don't have Set everybody up for success. Don't give some big huge project that they're going to have to do over the weekend. That is not setting your students up for success. Um,
Absolutely.
so make sure so make sure whatever you're asking them to do without you, you give them very clear instructions of what you want them to do. You give them an example of what you want them to do, and you tell them exactly how to turn it in. Are they going to submit it to a Google Classroom? Are they going to email it to you? If you want it emailed, what time is their deadline, right? Monday, 4 p.m. in my inbox, right? How do you want them to turn it in? Also, make it easy for them to turn it in. I will say I've gotten really used to just telling students, take a picture and email it to me. Because then they don't have to worry about finding a scanner. Like everybody has a phone, everybody can take a picture of their work. So, just make sure that you are making it easy for them to follow the instructions, make sure that it's easy for them to understand the assignment, and make sure you give them an example and make sure it's easy for them to submit the assignment. Okay, so remember the Martian. Remember the reading, and they had to make a to-do list. And now I put them into groups, and in groups they had to make individual to-do lists. So as you can see, each group made their individual to-do lists, and they all did it. They all did it. They were all working in groups, but they all put their work on one slide where we could all see it together. And then they moved on to the next frame, and here's group 4. Now, they only had to choose 2 activities out of the 3 to do. So group 4, here is their conversation between Mark and NASA. Here is their Instagram post. Again, here is group 3. They did a discussion between mom and dad, and then a discussion with NASA. So again, so each group has their own board where they are coming and they're putting in their work. And then afterwards, you can go and you can show it as some kind of gallery walk. But also, as students are doing this, you can watch them in real time doing work. Now, here's where I've used Google Slides. This is an elementary lesson where students had to introduce themselves and then show pictures of what they like to eat for breakfast. The whole topic is food, right, with elementary school students. And obviously, as you can see, I gave them a frame. So I gave them sentence frames. So they only had to recall only specific vocabulary. And then, of course, they had the fun option of providing pictures of what they like to eat. Okay, so now I'm going to show you another tool. This is Padlet. Now here, this is where each week I put content, but then I also there was also opportunities for them to comment. So they can look at the content, but they can also comment, and so here's students commenting and giving feedback on each other's work. So we could do peer review as well. My final piece of wisdom is that um, teaching online is difficult, but learning online is also difficult. And so I just make it fun. Try to make it fun. Try to make it lighthearted. Try to make the time that you spend online, try to make it kind of where your students are happy to be logging into your class. They're not dreading it. So just keep it whimsical, because if they want to be there, they're going to get something out of it. Even if it's only maybe like they learn 2 vocabulary words, it's still better than they sit there and they learn nothing.
Thank you very much. These are valuable tips. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye. How did you enjoy the tips and tricks that Liz shared with us? If you did, you may comment below. You can share your wisdom. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on social media. And if you would like to share your tips and tricks on online teaching, you can send us an email or comment below, and I will be happy to interview you. Thank you for watching us.